But you...
Mother Gothel?
Yeah.
Yes, Mother Gothel. I reckon after my rage session at that point, she probably talked about how there's actually strength to this and there's a purpose to this. You could learn how to control it. And she gave me a booklet of stuff to read, techniques to use to try to calm
How to harness your rage.
Yeah, basically, so that I can start using it.
Harness your rage. Harness your rage by Mother Gothel.
Barbarians for beginners.
It's in the self-help section of your local library.
Become a monster that people are friendly with.
Yeah.
The monster you love.
Tame the monster with it.
That's very good. I like Tame the Monster Within. We'll call it that one.
Yeah, Mother Gothel's
Hang on,
self-help
I go
book.
write that down.
Did she write it, or is it by someone else?
I think it's definitely from someone else.
Yeah.
See, I think she probably got her hands on that after being resurrected and coming back as a massively different person.
Oh yeah.
That would have taken some adjusting to as well. Who would like to go next? Mordred, thank you for volunteering.
I suppose Mordred, I'm going Oracle Champion, which was my archetype before. He always had the magic within him from when he was with Morgana, but then when he joined the Knights of Camelot and trained with them, he learnt how to be a champion and learnt that he could do more protecting people than attacking with a sword. And by focusing more on that and protecting everyone in the party, he's kind of harnessed those abilities a little bit more.
I love that.
Thank you.
Do you think maybe something started to come out of him more now that he's met Lancelot?
I think so, and I think competing in that tournament as well
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
showed him that, yeah, he is a knight.
You put a lad on a horse and suddenly he thinks himself a knight. Alright, your turn.
Yeah. I guess it all started when I took a trip through a mirror and saw a bunch of different places and people and eventualities. And lay on some sand before I moved again. Where just thought and absorbed it. It seemed like an age, and then fast forward to touching the hourglass, thinking back on those moments. He just is kind of understanding things a little bit better, along with the owl that has part of Merlin's owl in it, talking, just becoming wiser and just expanding that sort of knowledge there, using the pocket library all the time, doing lots of reading just to try and be one step ahead.
I
What's
love
your
that.
second class?
Could you pass both of those to
Psychic.
Dario? Thanks.
Hang on.
2.
That's a really fun answer.
I didn't even understand his answer.
You seem to let it gloss over you like the mists of time.
Yeah.
But I did like when you were saying, after we had a lay on sands, I was just like, now in that every time you heal someone, you just need to go, lay on sands. And just throw sand at them.
To be fair, throwing sand in your eye is my kind of healing.
Oh, goodness me. That is terrible.
Well, it's all like sand hourglass time thing.
Yeah.
It all connects. I get
It
it.
all connects.
So what's your second class?
Psychic.
Psychic.
But it's like a law psychic. So it's like
So are you
knowledge.
sorcerer psychic or wizard
Yeah.
psychic?
Sorcerer psychic.
Psychic sorcerer. Alright, I love that.
So the psychic part's a cult. So it's like genetic.
Stay out of my head.
Custom up for you.
Alrighty, so last week in Pebble Creek, you went to the Tournament of the Rising Sun, Tourney of the Rising Sun. You met quite a few people there. Drizella, you ran into Thornwell Vale, your old mentor, what are they called? Metacaster of some repute and some skill. Okay, that'll come up eventually. You worked with him on the battlefield, helping up the injured and the dying competitors. Bigby, you ran into
The Baker Lady.
the Baker Lady. Also, you ran into Flycatcher, your old boss.
Okay.
You agreed to work with him, though.
Yeah, so
Yeah, because I
Flycatcher
was worried he could kill me.
grabbed you round an alley, beat you senseless, and then demanded you take a job. And you said, yes, sir, absolutely, king. No, but he forced you to take that job, so you're stuck with that. He wants you to break into the tower of the keeper, of the lord, the king of this place, or queen of this place, sorry, and kill Greta, the witch who inhabits here.
And leave breadcrumbs everywhere. Such a mercy bitch.
Her brother, Hans.
Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
Just mixing all of our media here. Why not?
That's the campaign.
Yeah, true, actually. I suppose I shouldn't complain.
Turns out,
Yeah.
no.
Hans had quite the ill omen.
Oh.
No, I don't
Hansel.
still no. Anyway, Mordred,
Just
after just
chuckling to
his
yourself.
apprentice in a
I know,
joust,
I was
you
bumping
met
me.
the old retired knight Lancelot. You've gone off to talk with him. He's saying he knew your father. And last but certainly not least, Darian, sneaking around the side, sorry, not the sands, you met Krennic Silverbarrow.
Mhm.
Not what they looked like last week.
Some lovely new art from Big. In fact, have a hero point for custom art.
Thank you.
Krennic Silverbarrow, a Duragar stone-skinned dwarf who you were warned about by Memphis. He has asked to buy something from you and said he will meet you at a nearby tavern with a large sack of gold. Planning to buy it.
Oh yeah, because I followed, but he wasn't buying it from me. He was buying it from us.
Exactly. Buying
Yeah,
it
but
from
you overheard him say that they'll take it by force if they do.
That was the other one. You saw him talking to a hooded figure who said to tail them if they try to leave the city, take them by force. Take it by force.
Mm.
So, no one wants that to come to that, but sometimes things happen. We're going to start pretty much right at the end of Joust. Darian, I suppose, mainly for you. After you spoke with Krennic, you returned to your friends, the Order of the 11th Eye. You met recently the wizards and that. And that. Do you tell them about Krennic at all? You can do some sort of check if you like, if you want to see if you have any insight as whether it's a good idea or not.
I feel like I could ask them about him, but I wouldn't be like hostile at this stage. It seems like just a pretty standard dude trying to do a deal at this stage. What's the
Amelia?
no, it's a check or some sort of thing, or like an insight or something.
What do you want to? What sort of check are you trying to make? What are you
Like,
trying to learn?
how sus was this dude in terms of like
Oh, definitely perception and sense motive is what you'd be doing.
sense motive?
Yeah.
Like 25.
25. I'll tell you that's a crit fail. You get no insight.
Alright.
Stone
I'll
face.
just ask
Literally.
the guys who was in the box in general,
Yeah,
what their role is and what they know about.
yeah, for sure. You see that the two dwarven brothers, the Magson brothers, Oggins, the older of the two brothers, big beard and a pipe. You see, he speaks up and says, "Oh, that's Keeper Amira Highsun is the dwarven lady there. She's been in the city as long as I can. Distant cousin of my brother's wife, he says, and of course there's the new additions to town, no, you wouldn't call them that, Mr. Basque and the Lady Ilda Montague. Business types, you see. They're the ones caught up in all that fairy business I was telling you about before. The poor proud, the Diamond Drover, being shut down. Terrible thing. You see, he says, I figure the elf lad is from the university, as far as I know, and I can't say I recognise the last one. And you'd see that Amelia Zaniba, the woman wizard there, the blue dress and the white staff, would speak up and very calmly say to you, that is Krennic Silverbarrow. He's from Camelot. I worked with him on occasion when I was in the court back then,
Oh,
but that was some years ago.
from Camelot. Does he work with after? Or...
You see, she just a history check real quick. You see, she said, I left long before that business fell apart, but from what I hear, he works under Parsifal.
Ooh.
It's a long way from Camelot.
Sorry?
It's a long way from Camelot. Yeah. Oh, it's not that long actually. It's only like
That's like
Not super long.
half a world. No, it's not. It's not like other.
It'll be about a week's travel, give or take.
Yeah.
it's like here to Sydney or something.
Probably even less. Evergreen, the whole map for Evergreen is quite small. If you cross it in, a fortnight. If the ocean doesn't get in your way. You see, she says, he just about does every job for the stewards there, is what I understand. He's a snivelling boot grabber when I was working there, but he's got quite a name for himself now.
I see.
That'll probably
I'll
be,
just leave it at that.
yeah, they'll probably all then volunteer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think it means anything hostile yet.
Absolutely. The tournament finishes as we had at the end of the last session. There's a bit of celebration. You know that you have to head off fairly soon to make Krennic's 5:30 appointment. Who's going to Krennic's appointment? Who's going to with Mordred and Lancelot, which is happening at the same time?
I kind of want to go with Lancelot.
I'll go to Krennic.
I'll go with Krennic.
Lovely.
Anything Camelot related, I'm quite happy to go with.
Yeah, fantastic.
I think both of them are going to be Camelot related.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, which one do you want more? I'm
I
going
would
to
tell
go
you that, like,
with
what
with
the
Big B
details
because he does diplomacy and I do intimidation, and I think that could make
A good combo.
an excellent combination. I can blow dart somebody, maybe. Just
And you can
Am I allowed to
slap
blow dart
them
anymore?
across the head if I'm doing a stupid deal.
all right, maybe.
What are you doing? Like, when I just like happily agreed to like give Mordred soul away.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I just saw the spell and it is awesome, but I don't have minions. It's called Final Sacrifice.
Love that one. Is that the one where you send them out and they just explode?
Yeah, it's
That sounds pretty awesome.
absolutely batshit insane spell,
It sounds-
responsible for every broken combo in Pathfinder.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's a famous example of just stupid spells you can do. It's good though. Take it if you want
I don't have a minion. I could use Mordred as mine.
it.
I'm not your minion. Migman.
So, in town, in two very different. Sorry, pardon me. In two very different parts of it, in a fine upscale cider bar. Why didn't that work? Give me 2 seconds to fix something. Go. In an upscale cider, a little tavern that specialises in apple cider, Drizella and Bigby head on in to meet Krennic, and and a few blocks over, Darian and Mordred head over to meet with Lancelot.
Would we have headed over there with Lancelot, or are we meeting him?
You would have headed over with him.
Okay.
We will do. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll jump back and forward. I think we'll start with Mordred and Darian. See the two of you head off. Mordred as well. Horse.
Horse. What about?
Are you buying the horse?
Oh yeah, I'm buying the horse.
Wonderful. Mordred buys the horse that they were using to joust with, which is just a thing you can buy for money. So the two of you are heading over with a horse. How do you reckon Archimedes gets on? Sorry, Aristotle gets on with a horse.
Probably disapprovingly, but like I would say impartial. I've seen a lot of horses, probably, but it's an owl.
It's added a familiar to my
That's not an
thing
owl bear, it's not
automatically.
Yeah.
It's
Aw.
just assumed I wanted one, which I do.
That's pretty funny.
Would you say that Archimedes and the horse have a unfriendly relationship with each other?
No, just
Oh,
make
You know the other hand I got?
Mm.
I'm animating that one.
Terrifying.
So I've got
See, the owl is
Eldmet,
smart enough to
and then
know
I've
that
got
it's,
the other
it's
hand, which
an
is
animal
my
with a
familiar.
purpose, not a friend.
Yeah.
I love
Aw.
it.
Mordred thinks it's a friend, so he's just kind of patting the horse's snout as we walk down.
They're both left hands.
The owl disapproves.
The owl shakes its hand.
Oh, I love that. You see, Lancelot is very quiet as he's leading you through the streets, and has a sort of a forlorn look on his face, so that occasionally smiles. Do the two of you say anything, ask him anything? What's the mood as you pick through these streets on your way to this nearby bar?
Mordred's definitely nervous because he's been told he's about to find out who his father is, which is pretty scary.
We would be talking about our daddies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll say to Darian, I mean, you don't know who your dad is either, do you?
No, but this is a clue, and I'm just gonna like spin the hourglass. Tip it the
I
other
was just
way.
like, how does that tell you anything?
The needly thing you pointed at it. Yeah, I don't know. I just got given the thing from my sister. I'm so
You found your
confused.
sister?
I'm supposedly a magus. I'm supposedly a wind elemental child thing. How many layers are there in this world? I thought I was just a kid from the streets.
I thought I was just a kid from the forest.
I guess in that we are alike.
You both remind me of myself at a younger age.
A kid from the
Tenzin says, I didn't know my family either.
You didn't?
Oh.
No, not as such. I was, sort of adopted into. Well, it's a long story, but I was sort of adopted into your father's family. Your grandfather, as it were.
You know my
Took me-
grandfather as well.
Oh yes, I knew all of them. We were like brothers, your father and I, for a very long time.
But we're not related?
Not by blood, boy. Not by blood. And you see, he reaches up and grabs something around his neck and says, "That's by something else." You see, he turns to you and says, "As for you, lad, that's magic. You'd be best taking that to a wizard of some sort."
You don't happen to know of a really impressive one with a nice white beard by the name of Merlin, do you?
See, he says, "And you, Merlin, I?
You know where he is?
I think if he has any shame, he's far away from this place where he can do no more harm."
Oh.
Do more harm.
Come, let's sit down. And
Yes,
you see
let's discuss at length.
they sort of lead you inside to a bar. Very kind of not run down, very working, working class. There's a little sign up the top with an apple with a worm in it. He walks in, gives a wave to the bartender who seems to know him. As you see, Lancelot says, "3 of them, please. 4, in fact." As you see, they bring over 4 ales to you all. As he places 2 in front of him and 1 in front of each of you. And then goes, hold on. Boy, what do you drink?
Not alcohol.
Yes, but what?
I'll have a water.
A water.
Yeah.
Very well. And a water for the lad. Mrs. Button looks a little confused as well and heads off and brings you water.
What do I do with my horse? This is the first time I've ever come to a tavern or anything. What do I do with the horse?
Give me a society check.
I wouldn't know what to do with the horse either.
Yeah.
I couldn't say
That's a
Darren would
10?
want to ride. Maybe a camel.
10.
I try and walk it in.
You see Lancelot turns and says, "But steady lads. We best leave her outside."
Oh, okay.
You see, he says, "Do you know how to rein her up?" Here, watch me. He walks you over to a,
You don't have a follower.
What's her name?
I haven't really thought of that yet.
So he kind of taps the head. And he says, your father had a horse as well. He was quite a rider. Called her Lamre.
It's a nice name.
So he nods. Not seeming to suggest anything else or imply.
Mordred will just like pat the horse's neck and say, Lamre, I like it.
Leads you inside, orders the drinks. We will cut to the other side of the block. We're going to cut back and forth quite quickly to keep things interesting. Drizella and Big Big. You two are heading to meet with Krennic. I'm going to assume you're carrying the looking glass, the staff of beguiling.
Yeah, we would have to grab that up for you.
Any other objects you grab off of off of Darian or Mordred?
No.
Cool.
So you've got the staff and
The mirror.
Yeah.
Mirror?
Yeah, well, I've got like 4 pieces.
Cool.
And that, yeah. And 2 hands. Yes.
both of them.
They're both left hands.
If you lose my stuff, I will be sad, but not
One is Eldamit, and one is called Clutch.
slightly.
And he is very
I'll
cool.
understand.
He can play dead, and nobody will notice him, which I think is hilarious.
No one will notice the dead.
There's a 7 hand there!
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the shit you see in this city.
He can also help me in the mornings make alchemical things.
That's very fun.
No, what's
Like-
funny
He
is
just
selling
stirs
Eldamit
shit.
Yeah,
to someone
he does
and
the
having him come
stirring all by
back.
him himself.
That's hilarious.
You could totally do that. That's a revenue stream. Just
And
sell
he's
Eldamit
construct, yeah.
continuously.
The two of you see a company
So
address.
cool.
Krennic
Anyway.
would have told you that Darian would have passed. Oh no, sorry, Krennic spoke to a lot of you before you left. Come to the address. Krennic told you. You see, Mr. Often Says apple juice and cider dispensary and emporium.
Oh, and important.
Truly, way too many words on the sign. And you see quite a large, 2 stories, lavish velvet curtains. There's a doorman out the front. There's a couple of very well-to-do people coming and going, but it looks quite quiet. You're heading in. You're gonna discuss a game plan before you go in. Anything like that?
Yeah, maybe.
You don't need to.
What do you think we should do, Giselle? I'm like, we can't get out of this contract with Memphis.
I think it will not be as easy as just handing stuff over, or I think the
So should we
contract
just
is a
make some
mess.
money and then try to kill Memphis anyway?
Trying
to kill me.
Trying to
Okay,
kill
I'm-
people is my preferred way of dealing with problems.
That's fair.
Don't tell Mordred. Mordred won't agree with that as a course of action. We'll have
Might
to.
have to set him on a trip on a day trip
We-
when we meet
Oh,
Memphis.
You can't keep sending me on a date trip.
or convince him of an alternate strategy. That would be your
Okay.
strong point.
Mm.
And
Maybe
then,
banish him to a different plane or
well, Memphis or Mordred?
something.
Because I was confused.
I'm confused.
Either way would work.
We'll figure it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Love.
Okay. So
You
we
leave-
were open to possibly doing a deal with this guy? Or?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Oh god.
King.
I don't know what to do.
You're the political negotiator here.
Negotiate.
Drizella's got 2 hands and
How
a
much
plushy
did Memphis say
skeleton.
you pay for each? 50. I think it's 50 for the 2 main ones.
No rush. No rush.
That was a contract.
Whoops.
With
Careful,
prices.
careful.
Grab too much. Grab too
Carry
much.
on.
500 silver pieces, 50 gold for each item, and then
Yeah.
75 gold for the looking glass. Correct?
Yep.
Which
Sounds
isn't
right.
a lot of money considering what we just got at the.
Society check from either of you.
Society.
Yeah. You can do crafting, actually.
Oh, I could do that now. That is very
31.
exciting. I've developed those skills since I went to sleep.
When you're reviewing your contract, it occurs to you now, as someone who's travelled the world a bit more and encountered the world
27.
a bit more, you would pick this up too.
Yeah.
That is not a lot of money
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
like terms of rich people and
Yeah.
relic level
Got it.
items
And
that
these
sort of
items are like, yeah.
thing. Yeah, as far as you know, this you've been told this shrine in particular is unique.
Yeah. So like one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. Temperamental, but one of a kind. So
So
absolutely.
should be paying us like $1,000 or something.
Probably not quite $1,000, but definitely, hundreds of gold. Yeah, not
50.
75 for that. Yeah.
something along those lines. Absolutely.
Well, at least if we have a chat to this guy, then Memphis will up his price. Maybe we start a bidding on it. So just have him go back and forth.
Yeah, we
Get
could
some
hold
real
an
cash
auction.
for this.
We could hold an auction.
Well, that didn't work out last time someone tried to hold an auction for these items. So let's maybe just have a 2-person auction.
All right.
You two head in. You see Krennic is sitting in a booth, back against a wall, looking at the door. He gives you a very polite, intentional wave as you enter.
Does this look like the kind of place where we've got to buy our own drinks at the bar, or are they come?
No, there'll be
table
table
service?
service here. You see several halfling
It's a posh
waiters
place.
going around, that sort of thing.
Okay, then I'll make my way straight to Krennic's table.
This is the two of you sit down. You see, as you do, you see he says, Mr. Bigby, Lady Tremaine, thank you very much for agreeing to hear out my terms.
Lady Tremaine is my mother.
My
I'm
apologies
Dr.
that you
Tremaine.
chose to relinquish the
I'm
title.
Medicaster Tremaine.
My apologies that you chose to relinquish the title.
Interesting. It is not one I use.
Very well, my sympathies and condolences. I appreciate you coming out to hear
Can't deal with
what
this
I
guy.
have to say. I understand you're carrying an object of significant magical power.
How do you understand this? How have you come to understand
Information is my
I get
primary
clutch
trait.
out and just put him on the table.
What was
I
that?
just get clutch out and put him on the table and go, yeah,
That's
we
the
are.
hand?
Yeah, that's one of my
this?
hands.
That's your second.
That's my spare. It's my new hand. It's my intelligent hand. Yeah. He's very well behaved. He's just going to sit there.
You see, he looks over, regards it for a moment, and then just returns to talking to people. As an investigator, I'm sure you're familiar with how information can travel very far.
Yes, I am.
Indeed. Also, Carlos Vanth being robbed and, by all accounts, killed in his own home is rather noteworthy news.
What did you hear about the events of that night? I'm curious to hear what I guess is on the rumor mill.
You see, he says there are many people there present and many people who were not meant to be there. I still am working through a list to see who is survived. Obviously, we know of several fatalities, and again, looks towards Drizella. But a number of people are not confirmed. I'd be willing to pay a small price for you to recount your events of the evening.
I would happily do that for maybe a trade of information rather than monetary value.
You see, he smiles briefly and says, that is the currency I prefer as well.
Seems like we are a pair to be reckoned with.
Perhaps.
I think we should have a drink and get to know each other a little further before we start trading information that could be of a dangerous nature.
You see, he sort of relaxes, sits back a little bit and says, if you wish, signals for a waiter to come over. Do you just sort of, make, not small talk, but, various kind of getting to know each other?
I think so, yeah, just so that I can start to get a little bit of a read of him.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we can also get the, what's it called, make an impression sort of thing.
Yeah.
For each other, and yeah, because if I'm going to start telling all this stuff that is basically admitting to crimes that we've committed, I want to make sure that this guy isn't just going to turn around and get us arrested. So
Not basically, you dethroned a monarch.
yeah,
Crimes.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Give us the diplomacy check for making an impression. Drizella, you can choose to or not if you want to.
Diplomacy. It's her
I'll
strongest
use
suit,
my
diplomacy.
pad for that one.
11.
11?
That's not bad for me.
That's a critical fail.
That is what happens when you bring your animated hand to dinner.
Where he looks unimpressed at the animated hand.
The animated hand scuttles up my arm
23 for diplomacy.
and sits on my
23
shoulder.
is not enough for a success either. He
That makes me
doesn't
feel
try
better.
to make an impression mechanically.
Okay.
You see, he is friendly, he responds to your questions, and he answers, but he's very guarded.
Yeah.
Gives away no personal information willingly.
Mhm.
So you're like, if you ask, where have you been travelling lately? You see, he says, I've come from the north. And that's about the extent of it. And then you remark on
very
the weather
vague.
and that sort of thing. They, not necessarily vague, but more just like to the point and not volunteering stuff.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
very, does not seem interested particularly in winning you over as a friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, after about that sort of 10-15 minute mark, you see he quite abruptly says, I would, if it's all the same to you, my time is very pressing these days, and if it's quite all right, I'd appreciate if we could discuss business. We've just some slightly more important matters.
Can I make a check to just like try to get the what's it called? The
What do you
feeling of like
Sense
what
motive?
sense motive.
Yeah, for sure. Sense motive, absolutely.
We're all
What
slaves
is
to
what's that again? Is that
Perception check. Sense
perception?
motive.
Okay.
I'll also say, Jesse, would you like to make him the subject of your pursuer lead for the day at all?
Yes.
Cool. That'll give you a bonus to all that sort of stuff. That's what-
And you have the plus
So
one
that'll
from
be
the
24
orc.
for that.
Oh yeah, the, plus
Orc
the
bonus.
sky.
Plus the sky orb.
Okay,
Yes,
so
right?
25.
25. Interesting. You get the sense that you get the sense genuinely his time is precious, but he seems a little bit bored.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit uninterested in whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
As you see, he says, do you know what happened to the Beast King that evening?
Me and my comrades, we disarmed him. But he is not-
In a literal sense?
No.
Interesting. What would you be interested in knowing? And looks kind of to the two of you.
You spoke of a death toll. Who are some of the names among the list that you have heard of?
And you see he
We
says,
had to flee in a rather hurry.
you see he says various attendants, Garen Orenian, one of the old family, has not been seen since the night. You see he says a number of younger members of certain houses, and of course the Echo Duke, Lord Tyson II, who you saw burning.
That was the one.
As you fled,
yeah.
You see
Which
he's-
one's Garen Orenian? Is he the one that we freed from?
Yeah, the
No,
guy
no,
with the
that's
fake
not the one
beard.
free.
Oh.
Yeah, I think if he's
The uncle, yeah.
One of the allies.
His
yeah,
uncle.
okay.
You see, he says, Tasha, one of the Beast King's first servants, has not been seen since the night either, although I have had reports that someone was seen escaping the incident who would match her specialities.
And who is ruling over the area now?
You see, he says, the locals have taken over. I have been unable to confirm exactly who's leading them.
Interesting. So, I hear you're interested in buying something of us.
We're going to cut away for a second.
Oh,
As you see
To the
his eyes
point.
light up ever so slightly.
2 blocks across town in a much seedier place.
Absolutely. You see, Lancelot sits down, all these things. You see, he kind of takes a second. I suppose. Where should I start? You must have questions.
Yeah.
As he just sort of nods, as you see, he takes a very large sip from his drink.
You said you know my father.
I do. Now, lad, tell me what you know. You were raised by Lady Morgana.
Well, she always told me that she found me on the borders of the Darkwood. She took me in and saved me from dying in the woods.
That is half true. You see, he says, your mother, Morgana, is not your mother. She is your aunt. In fact, you were born of. You were born of His Majesty, King Arthur of Camelot.
That's. I'm sorry, sir. That's not possible.
I was there, lad.
How could you have been there?
I was there when you were born, when your father cast aside everything he stood for, and when your mother died.
My mother?
Yes.
Like it's an explorer, he's just gonna pipe up and be like, "Oh, that means Merlin's he's like you're the bloodline, so Merlin like He's just like so behind in this conversation. He's just like light bulb moment.
You see, Lancelot nods and says, that is part of the story too.
Do you live in Taiwan with him?
It's a nice story, but only a few days ago we were with some friends of ours who cast a spell looking for people of that family, and I'm not one of them.
Morgana has protected you well these many years. I suspect she hid the truth even from you.
She hid a lot of things from me.
You see here, as he takes off what he'd been wearing around his neck and reveals a golden heart-shaped pendant. So he says, hold this.
I'll take it.
It says, by the base, by the pendant itself.
Okay.
He says, grasp it. Hold it tight. You see, as you do, you feel it beating rhythmically. How's Mordred feeling at the moment? Is he anxious? Is he calm? Is he
Incredibly anxious, just keeping his calm.
As you hold it, you feel it beating quickly, hurriedly, and you realise it is matching the pace in your own bodies.
Is it magic?
You see, he nods. So he says, open it up. It's a picture of your mother.
Mordred's really hesitant because he thinks there's a heartbeat inside of
Who's
it.
your mother?
We'll open it up.
You see inside a small portrait of a beautiful woman with red hair. Something of her eyes looks similar to your own.
Who was she?
You see, he says, with great admiration. Her name was Guinevere.
I literally remember just before you said it.
She was my greatest love.
You loved her.
You see, he nods.
Then how are you not my father?
That could
I'm
have
not your father.
That's Thursday.
You see, he says,
Wrong campaign. It's crossover, please.
your mother was betrothed to your father at a young age. They met each other as little more than teenagers. Though they came to marry, they never really found love.
No.
He cared for her, of course, as she did he, but not in that way.
So she loved you instead.
She loved many people, but I was lucky enough to be one of them.
Did she love me?
She never got a chance to know you. She left the world as you came into it.
And I guess that's just another death I'm responsible for.
No, that one was Arthur.
Oh.
He... we're going to cut away. Just
He choked her and then she lost the will to live.
No.
Crossover.
Meanwhile, you see Credit in response to him says, Carlos Vanth had in his possession a scrying mirror of considerable power. My employers, the stewards at Camelon, would be most interested in acquiring that. Not only for the object's own obvious benefits, but to keep it out of the hands of Avalon.
We are under contract to retrieve it for someone. And I fear what's breaking that contract might be.
I assure you we could offer you political protection, if that's what you're concerned with.
Not really political.
You see,
More of the soul variety.
You see, he says, the man who offered you that contract, does he take the form of a gnome?
Yes.
I believe I know who you may be dealing with. Might I look at your contract?
Yeah.
You see, he takes out a little pair of glasses and looks through it.
In conclusion, we fucked.
I'm sure you're intelligent enough to know that you're being ripped off quite considerably at those prices.
I've just come to realise that, yes.
I hope you understand that the political protection we can provide includes a variety of court mages and skilled wizards. Not to mention clerics, hags, and druids. I'm sure any means of magical holding you have on you could be broken.
Can I make a check? What's it called when you're trying to see if they're lying or not?
Also sense motive.
It's all sense motive.
Sense motive covers
all
all
sense motive.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shoot.
See if he I don't think he's lying, but I'm wondering if he's exaggerating or not. That will be sense motive is also diplomacy. No, perception.
No,
That's
perception.
right. That'll be 32.
Nice.
Roll a 19.
32. Your instincts are right. You think he is not sure if that's true,
Okay.
but he does. He seems to. He's not telling you a bald-faced lie.
Yeah, but
Do you think this is
probably
likely?
doesn't
But he's
know
slightly
quite know
over.
the level of power of this. Yeah.
While Bigby's negotiating, politically fencing, whatever this is, this thing, I would like to basically have a look around this posh bar with the table service, and is there anybody else? Is he here alone? Is there backup somewhere? Thank you. Thanks for that. I've got your back for when you do something stupid and we get attacked, because I'll be gone.
Yeah, not me.
There's 50 people in here.
I make these sort of deals by myself and get myself into some
Yeah.
serious trouble.
So Drizella's basically sitting back and just sort of roving them, trying to identify what else is going on. Perception, so 26.
Nice. Yeah, that'll do it. You have a look. You see, so you're sat here talking to Krennic in a booth. You see a table behind you, so you have to fully turn around. You see a lizard folk woman. You see kind of dark, inconspicuous clothes, a hood kind of drawn over, who at first glance appears to be eating soup, but you see they're actually just kind of moving the spoon in and out and seem intently listening to your conversation. And another look, you see dagger on the sheath and what looks to be hidden blades inside their cloak.
On the table behind us.
Yeah, by a table.
I'm going to lead you to it, and I'm going to go and talk to the assassin with the tasteless soup.
Love. I think we'll come to that in 2 seconds. That's very fun.
Oh, God.
No.
what would Bigby understand about, I guess, the morals and the people behind, like, the two major, like, parts of Avalon and Camelot?
Yeah, society check, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'd also like to,
Aside from Camelot.
and I don't know whether he would have
I'm
to check
rolling
on
well
whether or
tonight.
not I can make
That
it
is-
clear basically to Bigby. I'm going over here because there is somebody watch it. And, you know, this is a deliberate rather than I'm bored and I'm wandering off kind of.
I think
Does
he
that-
would know you well enough and happy for that to anything to be a role.
Fine.
And we got the sign language stuff, so you could just say like suspicious.
Apart from Carrick standing here, so me going like Billy
could even
Connolly
tap-
Just do-
and the
You're
wildebeest.
just doing it with Ultimate or something under the
I've got
table.
yeah. I've
You
got.
could even tap his shoe under the table.
I'd send Eldamette under the table
So
to
that-
Morse
A
code
hand
on the
starts
leg.
crawling
Morse
up your
coding
leg.
the leg. He's Morse coding your leg.
Why did I take
I leave Eldamette there
Yeah,
to
I'm
be able
glad
to
you get with
communicate with Bigby
Yeah, sure.
in Morse code.
yeah, whatever. Sure, why not? I'll allow it.
Just for amusement. It's like
I don't.
Eldamette is independently massaging your calves. Just totally random. That's a help action right there.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Drizella just turns around and marches over to this random person with the terrible suit.
So that check was I hit a nat 20 to get a 37.
Incredible.
So apparently I've been talking to you about it. Get more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now that I think.
Oh, you don't
knows
even
it's
know.
not-
Okay.
Yeah,
then.
maybe you were reading about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is a war that's been going on for 60-ish years now.
Yeah.
So it's well known, like really long history of it. Would you have a specific question in mind, or just?
I'm just trying to wonder how badly this might affect like the world as a whole if I
Oh, for
somehow
sure.
decide to give these powerful items to one side of this war.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm concerned about.
Who's the good guys?
Yeah, kind of. Or if even if there's not two good guys, it's like how bad are both of them that like even giving either side one of these, is that going to just like end in absolute disaster?
Yeah, absolutely. Avalon was an expansionistic empire who was invading their neighbors 40 to 30 years ago.
Okay.
Camelot was doing the same thing 100 to 80 years ago.
Okay.
Camelot kind of got to the size it needed to and then stopped bothering to do that. Avalon was expanding and then they dunked up in the middle, and that was the trigger of the war. Basically, was they were both trying to take over the same blade.
Okay.
And they've been more or less at war for various other.
As in they're, like-
since.
They expanded to a territory where
Yeah.
Camelot already expanded to.
Yeah.
So it's not traditionally Camelot's land, but it's
No. Camelot traditionally very small,
Yeah.
occupies a huge amount of area currently.
Yeah. Okay.
That 150 years ago, 100 years ago, would have belonged to other kingdoms and other principalities and that sort of thing.
So it's basically some poor area that's just been
Yeah.
fucked over by these two dickheads.
Yeah,
fighting over it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Tibet, if you will.
Okay.
That will age poorly. But yeah, so, you know, Camelot these days probably slightly more moral, or, you know, was horribly evil longer ago.
Yeah. Okay.
But neither of them are the good guys by any
Yeah.
stretch. And your understanding would have been you would have dealt with a lot of people who were displaced by Avalon's wars,
Yeah.
and you would have talked to a lot of people whose parents were displaced by Camelot's wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, neither of them are doing much because they have been drained by war for 80 years. So they fight each other and they don't do a whole lot else in regards to like war and expansion and violence.
Do I know how long Carlos Valance had these items for?
Sorry?
Do I know how long Carlos Valance had these items?
You would know that they were housed in the university before he had them.
Okay.
So they've not been in play, if that makes sense.
And what he used them for was basically just to take over that area, right?
Yeah, so he was able to use those 3 items to take over the world.
But we also know he was conspiring with Queen Maeve.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's some powerful art. And
I'll say with a 37, you do know that. You don't know when that began, though.
yeah, okay.
It's unclear how good friends they were, and it's unclear whether that was a new thing or an old thing.
Yeah, that could have been just part of she was trying to buy the items off him or something.
Yeah.
Way to get them off him.
Or they could be age allies. Hard to say. You definitely have a sense. This sort of an item, a scrying board, would change the title. Certainly. Not a guaranteed win,
But do I think it, even if it would change the tide, do I think it would make them so powerful that they might take over way more?
probably not.
Yeah, okay. Just enough to basically have them win.
Yeah.
Okay, how much? What are we talking? What's your offer? What's your opening bid?
You see, he says, I'm prepared to offer you significantly more for the orb. I'm prepared to offer you 100 gold pieces.
Not that much more. You said we were getting majorly ripped off. I was thinking at least double.
Can you diplomacy check?
Diplomacy 28.
You see, he says, there is always room to negotiate. And I'm going to cut away at that point. Drizella,
Yeah.
you sit down opposite this lizard folk, so snake-like person, scales, piercing blue eyes, scars all over their face and tail that's exposed under the cloak. And you see, as you sit, they look at you for. They look and they hold your gaze for a few moments. As if waiting for you to speak. But after a few seconds, go, yes.
You haven't tasted your soup yet. Are the blades digging into your forearms, impairing your ability to taste?
It is not the blades in my forearms, but the venom in my mouth that impairs me to taste.
Then maybe you would have been better pretending to have a drink. It is less obvious than pretending to eat a bowl of soup.
My job here does not require subtlety. As
That is lucky, then.
Neither does yours.
you see their tongue come down and across their face. You have no interest in the discussions?
I have interest in who wants to listen to them.
You see, while that conversation is happening with Bigby, the snake woman waves. You see, Bigby, in fact, give me a perception check really quick. Fucking hell.
32.
Oh, Bigby, you're on fire.
There's
That
always...
was a good fucking hell. I thought it was a bad one.
No, it was good. I haven't rolled below a 10 all night.
things like there's always room to negotiate. And it gives a not very inconspicuous hand signal. In which it says, "I am security for."
And he needs it because?
He is a man of words.
Oh,
I am
fat
a
and
person
weak.
of action.
Oh. Fat and weak. Indeed. Tell me about your poison.
You see, opens mouth and like big viper-like fangs fold out.
I pull a vial out and go, would you be so kind? Is that rude? Is that rude on a first meeting?
Make an impression.
You see, they
Not with
very,
any interest
very
in the
daintily
answer.
hold out a hand, and say, Selena Faskin.
Ooh. Drizella.
And you see, they say,
So, what? I don't know. They're probably fine.
we are no longer strangers.
Selena Kyle is
And you see,
I should have.
offers for the bowling. And hands you a jar of slightly see-through lime green, slightly bubbling, horrid, acidically smelling venom.
Nice.
No, that's fine.
I go-
After 5 seconds. Super powerful poison.
Well, I don't know if she's super powerful, but
Oh, okay, yeah, it's
I'm
really
totally asking Snake Lady if I can have some of her fang stuff. That sounds like the kind of thing I would do.
fun.
So how did a talented, she looks at the weapons and the fangs, assassin, defense organization, bodyguard, end up working for the fat slow guy who talks a lot?
I have been beaten in a duel only twice.
By who?
And you see nods towards the dwarf.
To the dwarf.
Mm.
Interesting.
Once him, once his employer.
Oh, Mordred's like,
Mordred crashes through the wall.
Anyway, I'm not in this scene.
They aptly named, so not appearing in this film.
Gisela goes, I feel like I should ask who would employ someone like
Just get
Krennic
this little dog
to employ someone like you.
Please
And
turn to
you
the
see-
wiki who the employer is.
You see, looks to Krennic and sort of leans in a little and lowers her voice and says, the knight who shines too bright to commit the dark deeds that I do.
It's Lancelot.
Does he have a name, an anagram, a word search?
A cryptic clue.
I need to know this character's really cool and doesn't chuckle, but you're really funny. Gotta hear that one. You see, kind of regards you for a minute. In fact, make an impression. You can use Intimidate if you prefer. It's a bit of a threatening meeting.
It's a threatening meeting. I'm not being threatening. I was going to bring out my plushie, but that's a 19 on the dice for a 19 and 11. So that's 30.
30. Crit success. This person likes you. You see they sort of regard you and kind of not shrug again, but seem to sort of toss the name aside. They say, we call him Pass.
Possible. Interesting. Interesting that one should have an employer that sounds something like a her.
You see that she does chuckle and says, has a bite of something much fouler.
Interesting.
He's actually your brother.
Fucking came out of nowhere.
I'm not doing this meeting.
What big ears she has.
Says this voice from the ether. It's like, oh,
I wasn't
yeah.
first worried that Krennic was my brother. I'm worried everyone's my brother now.
That would have been
Always
great
so.
now that I think about it.
Killed the
As soon as we make the deal, he's like, haha, it's like shit. I'm your brother.
I say,
items. God damn it.
can I get you a drink?
You see they smile and nod simply and say, what I was going to say. You see that
You
they
don't
nod.
appear to like the soup.
You see they nod, they push back to the side.
I summon a posh waiter.
Absolutely. Yes.
I would like a bottle of your finest red wine, and I gesture to what would you?
You see they nod and say,
Two bottles, and then I gesture to Big B and go, you can put it on his tab.
Great applause for the French.
You just want to roll tonight.
All right.
Okay,
Sorry.
Goodness me.
there you go. You've had loads of time to chat now. You
Yeah.
see,
I love that.
I'm getting the hired help drunk.
Wonderful. So,
Are we going back to me or Lancelot?
Lancelot. We'll do
Back to a
one,
very
two,
serious scene.
Mhm.
Where did we leave this one off exactly?
The
It's about to
Guinevere.
reveal something else.
Yes. That was Arthur that killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was your father.
Not Arthur. Sorry, I don't know that.
You see, he says, no, he said Arthur.
Oh yeah, he has it. Yeah.
You see, he says, I suppose I should tell you the story from the beginning. I was a young knight, not terribly gifted at the military aspect of it, but a mind for strategy and that sort. I had that where your father did not. We fought in the battles of the North in the early days. Terrible thing, but we survived. And, at the end of them, I had very little family, and I'd grown quite close to him and his your grandfather Uther, and they offered to take me in back to Camelot. Your father had already met your mother then. They did not care for each other. She seemed to have only one friend in the castle, Morgana, as she was known.
And she was known then.
But before she became Morgana the Fae, and what else she was? Back then she was simply Morgana, then Dragon.
What was she like back then?
She was kind.
I don't think so.
She made
Was
that
she-
necklace.
Oh.
Was she Uther's daughter or married into the
She was Uther's daughter. There are rumours, of course, that she came from other things, but I think they were started after she began to walk her darker path.
Mordred just looks at his hands.
Well, I can imagine living in Arthur's shadow would do that to you.
And a shadow he cast. Uther adored him. I had never seen a father so enchanted by his own child. You would think he was the judge come to walk the earth. They were bold days, bold days. But Morgana was kind. She,
Kind.
oh yes. She had a great heart. She loved Morgana. She loved Guinevere as well. Long before I did, years and years. They grew apart, but I don't think Morgana ever forgot.
Do you think that's why she looked after?
I don't know. I always assumed when she took you that she would give you away, but I never thought.
How did she get me?
Oh, the times moved on. After Guinevere and your mother stopped being together, Morgana took more of an interest in magic. Studied under Merlin for many years, and then on to Mab. What's their names? All the famous ones at the time. She was a prodigy, as they say. She left Camelot for 20 years almost, maybe more.
He's still talking about.
She studied under Mab.
Queen Mab.
I saw her very little around the palace, though I knew she was coming and going. I grew closer with Merlin, and in time I grew closer with Guinevere. They were happy enough, but never a couple, as it were. Only a king and a queen. I never told Arthur, of course. Couldn't bear to. I would pay for that in the end. See, he says, and we lived. We fought. We stopped fighting. We grew old. Arthur started to make sounds as he sat down, and wear his armor less and his cape more. But he reached the age of 40 without an heir in sight, and that's when he started talking to Merlin about other things he could do.
Steroids.
Much worse. You see, he says, he begged Merlin to teach Morgana the forbidden arts. Magic outlawed. Outlawed long ago.
Does he have a copy of this?
Do you ask that?
No.
You see, he says, spells from a vile book that was burned.
He's thinking there. Definitely thinking there.
You see, he turns to you and says, what do you know of Merlin?
I think you'd be better off asking Darian.
What have you heard?
He's a hero. He's from what I've read and seen in the world of magic, he knows it all. He seems to understand magic at a level that is more than most. The nature of it, the essence of it.
It may be all he knows of. I never met a greater fool. The man did everything Arthur told him to, even when it made no sense. Carried out things, terrible things in the war, but none as worse as giving Arthur a child.
Wasn't he? Oh, fuck. Hang on, let me just like... You can answer that one.
Mordred doesn't answer, he just looks at his hands again.
You see, he says, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It was Arthur who pushed it.
But didn't he... Wasn't he bound to the Pendragon line in a way that he could not refuse?
What? What do you mean, bound?
Mordred will message into your head and say, I don't think they know about that.
Never mind.
He served his father before, of course. He's a very old man. Or whatever he is. Somehow Arthur convinced Merlin and Morgana to perform a dark ritual together. One that would create a child born of Arthur and Guinevere, and magic. Brought forth into existence fully formed.
Fully formed.
A child fully formed, yes.
Why?
Created out of a moment of magic.
I assume Merlin alone was not able to accomplish this.
That is why they needed the help of Morgana, yes.
And I assume she had her own reasons for wanting to help.
I don't know. I didn't know her at the time. It had been 2-3 years since I'd seen her, and then only in passing. But she had grown apart from Arthur. It was well known they did not speak. I dread to think what he did to get her to agree. I was in the castle when it happened. The pendant I had was enchanted to Guinevere's heartbeat, so I could have it with me always.
Oh, I just clicked.
And one day it began to falter. I hurried to the chambers, only to see Guinevere dying and you, as an infant, held in Morgana's arms. I didn't know what was happening, but I saw Arthur, and I saw Merlin begging Arthur, begging him to help him save Guinevere. And all Arthur said was, save the child.
I'm
Then
having
he stopped,
canapes.
and Guinevere died.
We're in two different movies tonight.
Maybe he made a mistake with that.
Of course he made a mistake. The man let his queen die for a child he didn't know. You must understand, my lad, I hold you no ill will. You were not there, really. But from what Merlin told me afterwards, you were born healthy and fine and alive. He needed not waste his time on a healthy babe when his wife was dying. Guinevere died for nothing.
Oh, Lancelot, it's a good job I went with you.
Oh.
Because I'm allowed to be mean to Mordred, but Lancelot is not allowed to be mean to Mordred. Why are you letting... Why are you letting Lancelot be mean to Mordred?
Because I'm probably the one that's been to
Yeah, he gets the least from the other.
You're allowed to be mean to Mordred. You have to stop other people being mean to Mordred. Those are the rules. Those are the rules.
Just like, but
C says, as soon as she died, I saw Morgana's face change. She held you in her hands and she just vanished.
She stole me.
so Arthur didn't send Mordred away.
No.
Did
No,
he try
he
and rescue
sent
the
us-
child?
Well, he sent us to find him. Sent us to find you. We went for days into the Brochelin forest. We fought all manner of foe, us loyal to your father. Until we met the Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky.
I think Trisella would like this.
He says it was Parsifal, Gawain, myself, and Aglot. Aglot was cut in half with one of its claws.
It's fine, he's not a
Parsley's
major
a bad
knight
guy.
He says Parsifal ran as soon as it opened its maws. Gawain I lost in the woods. I don't know how I survived. I returned to the castle 4 days later. I was ready to forgive Arthur for what he'd done, I think. I wanted to try to anyway. You see, he begins to get horribly angry, gripping the cup, shaking his fist. He says, but he hadn't buried her in all that time.
Can I cast a calm spell as I
Yeah,
touch his
absolutely.
shoulder?
You see the cup stops and sees it. They hadn't buried her.
Did they bury her?
I did. And I left my armour with her, my sword, my shield. And I have not seen Arthur since.
Mordred will probably say, my whole life, my mother told me that my life was worthless, that I was a waste. I always hoped that wouldn't be the truth, but it sounds like me being here has just taken everything from everyone. I'm sorry.
You were a miracle. Created by the two finest mages of an age.
Worthless is better than what the truth is in Mordred's eyes.
You should not have been, and yet you were. It is incredible. But she had to watch her best friend die when you were born. I don't know why she kept you, but I cannot imagine it was easy for her, and of course not easy for you.
I'll take the locket and I'll give it back to him and I'll say, I think this belongs with you, not me.
She says, "It's your mother's. I would have you keep it if it brings you some comfort."
I never knew her. She's just a reminder of why I shouldn't be here.
You see, he puts it back on. You see, he says, it was 2 weeks later that the locket started to beat again. I thought maybe it was Morgana giving me some piece of solace, as if she was still here, you know. And that's what I thought until I saw you at the festival. As you charged your horse down, the locket beat faster. As you were knocked, it paused for a second, and on the ground it started again. I knew it was not some echo of Guinevere, but someone still living. So I know for sure you are her son.
Are you saying that her heart and mind are the same?
You see, he looks as if he'd never considered this and says, maybe.
Was she kind?
who is the kindest.
I would have liked to meet him.
You see, he finishes his second drink, waves over the counter.
Poor guy.
I'm sure you can do some speak with dead or something.
Maybe in a few levels' time, I'll just like raise it from the deep.
Yeah, that sounds unproblematic.
You see, he says, I saw Morgana only once since that night. Chance happening on the road. I asked her why she didn't just bring her back. So said it could not be.
Can I get down on my knee in front of him? I'm going to take out my sword, Caliburn.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold it in front of me. And I'll say, my friends and I have been following in the footsteps of the most powerful magicians of this age. We're trying to stop all manner of things. I promise if I find a way to bring Guinevere back, I will.
You see he smiles and you see he says, thank you, lad. I think I've given up on such a dream.
I don't think you should ever give up.
You see he wipes a tear from his cheek. But sit, tell me the tales of your friends. What you follow in great footsteps, you say. Tell me, what have you seen?
I assume he didn't notice the sword.
Doesn't look like anything on his face, no.
Oh, Tremor, since you say you should tell him about the sword.
I think there's one more story I want to tell you first. And I'll put the sword on the table.
And we'll cut away.
Oh, it's so sad! I love it.
I'm just like, there's so many things I could do, but it would ruin the moment, so I'm just letting you talk.
I don't know what to say, because I feel like Mordred would be in stunned silence.
I know.
Thank you for your restraint, guys.
I was tempted, because I just got a spell.
Don't let him be mean to Mordred.
My first love.
Yeah, exactly. I can do that.
Mordred might turn violent just for a second to do that.
I could totally do that. There's a few things like that I've got now that, like, totally. There's a roaring applause thing that they just hear applause.
Yeah. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
This is.
That would have been good. Just after
You alright?
like,
Yeah.
when he's like,
Sure.
oh, I
Yep.
came back and Arthur had never buried her.
Jesus.
The restraint I've had. Not doing that.
Alright.
I love the different reactions. You guys laughing. I'm on the edge of tears here.
Back in the apple cider.
I want to.
No, you go apple cider.
I want to talk to you, but not with him there. And Tremor Sense doesn't allow me to like message properties. We shall talk afterwards.
Okay, after I saw him make that gesture, I would say, I hope you're not planning on using violence or force to influence our negotiations, because that would be mighty rude.
You see, he says, Mr. Bigby, I have no intention of anything of the sort. I brought you to this very public place with friends who I'm sure you would know. Sorry. I brought you to this very public place that I'm sure you know I would not have had time to prepare anything for. I have no interest in taking that from you.
I'm a tad insulted. I thought you understood how smart I was and did not take me for a fool.
And you see, he kind of leans in closer and says, I think you are a fool, and you do not understand the kind of trouble that thing is going to bring you. I am the carrot, my friend.
You're running
My
a
employer will be having that, one way or another. I am here to offer you a large sum of gold for that.
He's not
So
a
far,
carrot.
they offered a medium-sized number.
You can either eat the carrot.
You see, he looks slightly bored. You see, he says, what do you expect?
I told you double.
Very well.
We've basically got our souls hanging on this, so.
I can appreciate Double would be 140 gold. Let us call it 150 as a kindness.
That sounds very reasonable to me. Is that the only item that you're interested in?
You see, he says, in the interest of keeping it out of Avalon's hand, I am permitted to acquire the staff and the ring in addition.
The ring is no longer in our possession. It has been returned to its rightful owner.
You see, he looks up and then says, "That suits my employer. Will the staff be joined?"
I'm not aware of the staff's original owner. Oh, okay.
You see, he says very well. That is a significantly less important item. I can offer you 75 gold.
This seems reasonable.
You see,
I
nods.
I cannot make this deal alone. I must have to. I'm sure you understand.
Of course.
I will have to discuss with my fellow party members before making a final decision. So I can assure you we will not be leaving the city or going anywhere without first completing this deal one way or another.
You see, he produces from his side bag several sheets of thick ringed paper and what you would recognise as like a small pen or be a foreign object to Big B. That he just sets on the top of paper as it then begins printing out several copies of a contract. Not in the sense of that sort of contract, but of sale. A bill of sale, basically, where it says, these items, 150 gold, that 75 gold. You see at the bottom, it's written, the deal expires at midnight tonight. You see, it says, I trust that's enough time for you.
Does it have the promise for protection against Memphis in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll present this to my party members.
You see, notes, you see,
Give
it
you
says,
an answer button.
it says at midnight, you can find me in the keep, if it gets to that point. You see, otherwise, you see he pulls out what looks to be almost like a bonbon, just but a single thing, scrunch of paper there you would pull in half. You see, he says, otherwise, breaking this, I'll be notified of your location.
Okay.
If you wish to discuss it. Gives you that as well.
Okay. Yeah.
That's called a calling cracker.
Oh, that's fun.
You see, he says, anything else?
So he's what side's he from again? Camelot?
Camel.
Yeah, okay. So
Gee, I wish I was here right now.
are there any rumours or interesting goings on with the religions of where you're from that I could potentially buy?
You see, he says, you told me of the fate of Carlos Venth. I think it's only fair. I have heard one rumour. You see, he looks around and says to you very simply, they think they've found the heir.
The heir of Camelot.
Nods.
What would that mean?
The order of stewards as it is would cease to exist. All manner of strife would break loose. If they sought claim to the throne.
Does Arthur not have full power?
Arthur has not had full power in 25 years. He says, I wouldn't.
How many years ago did Merlin spit? Just
That 20. In fact, sorry, he wouldn't have said 25 years. He would have said 20 years. That's so important. You see, he says, however, I wouldn't put too much stock into that. It's still unconfirmed. Lots of people talking about things at the moment.
At this point, Mordred bursts through the door.
So, would I have heard of these stewards before?
Yeah, with that history, I'll carry through that society check from earlier. So, after the
And
strife...
do you reckon that I've got theories that they're part of that giant global conspiracy
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
I'll say you have no reason to suspect them beyond them being world leaders.
Yeah, okay.
But
So-
we do suspect Maeve.
Yeah.
This is just me on my Maeve.
So, Difficult to say if that makes them more or less likely, being
I'm just
an
in the
enemy
way.
of someone you do suspect.
I'm just in the way here.
You would know that after the strife of Camelot, which is so after the civil war that happened in Camelot around the time Mordred was born, Arthur sacrificed a lot of his power, and the Knights of the Round Table, what was left of them, and their successors became the Camelot, the Camelot stewards, and basically took over small parts of the kingdom. In fact, with that check, you would know they actually took Arthur's crown and broke it into pieces and placed them on a pendant for the Camelot stewards to wear. Which is exactly what happens. Together, they have the power of the king. Apart, they have quite a bit of power still, but less.
Yeah. Fair enough. Does Arthur still have a piece of that crown?
No.
No. Okay, so he's basically just a figurehead of power now.
Yeah.
Okay. But the idea is that if the heir came to power, that they would just suddenly have the right to all of the crown pieces.
Potential.
Okay. What would do you think the stewards would be unhappy with this outcome?
You see, he leans in and says, "I have been promised a small fortune to ensure it does not happen."
So you work for the stewards.
You see, he nods. Says, "I operate directly for Sir Parsifal, but I am at the disposal of any members of the table."
Are you a knight yourself? Is that? This is me asking, like DB asking him, but is like knighthood reserved for the stewards, basically for the round table?
No, there would be other knights of Camelot.
Yeah.
Many knights of Camelot.
Yeah.
Mordred was only a knight of Camelot.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But they're just like the special top.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Good to know. I think that's probably where I'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
And we can make a signal to
Oh,
Gisela.
I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
I'm drinking.
two of you are drinking.
We have a bottle of wine
How much did this tab run?
How much did the tap run?
For the two of the best bottles of wine, a lot. Like tens
Luckily.
of gold, a lot.
Oh, God. You bitch. What the hell did you drink, Drizella?
I don't know.
I'm looking at the jet. I'm like, this can't be right. I think you put this in gold instead of silver by accident.
You see, Krennic says, "As a show of good faith," and takes it off you.
Oh, you're a man of class. I like you a lot.
Indeed.
Now give me the items.
What do you think you and this assassin bodyguard chat about while you're drinking?
Poison. Stabbing things. Stuff you can learn from dead bodies. Best places to stab people.
You see, they teach you that they have had their venom sacs alchemically altered such that they can inject foreign poisons into them and then administer them at a later date.
Drizella says that, at some point, if I can study
Cardboard.
that as a mechanism, that would be amazing. I tend to do it when people are dead, but I would absolutely want to do it while you're still alive without hurting you, if that were an option. Because we've shared wine.
You see, she says, as a professional yourself, you can understand. You can no more do that than I could cut up and look at your surgical tools. I need them for my work.
Reasonable. A reasonable thing. And then it gets to the sort of the end of the bottle of wine. And Drizella's like, lifting her sleeve up, going, "Look, see, my arm's stretched."
Oh, goodness.
She like returns the bottle back to the bar.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, I hate
It's
it.
like,
This is fantastic.
This one's good.
I understand the needing things for your work.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen. Do it again.
She picks up. Have you finished with the soup?
Oh, yes.
So she picks up the soup and she sends the soup to the bar and just accidentally spills it on Krennic as it goes past and puts,
That's terrible.
soup on the bar.
That's
Sorry.
terrible. 0 point.
I can't have any more hero points though. That's like,
And yet they will fall upon you.
I'm going to try and get a whole row. This is like my new challenge. Yeah.
Oh my god. Wonderful. You see it spills on his jacket. You see he presses one of the buttons and it's instantly clean.
Oh, that's
Where
I need-
can I get one of those? Can we alter the deal so I get your jacket?
And we're going to cut away from there. Oh god.
We're in two different movies, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the terribly sad story of a man destroyed at home, abandoned by his king, his love murdered.
We're talking about Mordred again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't
Just
wait
checking.
for Mordred to be like, oh, my life's shit. That just shit face. Like, yeah.
I've only had one bottle of wine. I'm fine.
Yeah, but it's really good.
It was really good wine.
So
That just means
smashed it really quick.
I'm expensively tipsy as opposed to
Cheap tipsy.
cheap tipsy.
They feel remarkably similar, I'm told.
Exactly. They had waiters though. I mean, I don't go places with waiters very often. Classic.
You see Lancelot says, tell me, lad, tell me the tale of your friend. The tale of that. Pull out the sword. Place it on the table.
Oh, that's right. And I said, I've got another story. And I'll say, do you recognize this sword?
No, my lad. Should I?
This is Caliburn.
You see, he says, forgive me, son, I don't know it.
Try and lift it.
What do you see? He places his hand underneath. And lifts it and then to move it, half of the table before it just slips out of his hand. You see, he tries again. You see, he says, I've seen that before. This is Arthur's blade. How on earth did you come across Arthur's blade? Huh?
Part.
Oh. I heard rumours they broke his sword. I thought it more of a metaphor for taking control of his armies, but they
Split
actually
into three.
incredible. You hold a third of Excalibur. It is
A
some
heavy
blade.
third.
I'll pick it up myself and just, kind of lightly.
And you don't believe you are of his blood.
I guess I wasn't really sure until now. It was just a story about a sword.
Your sword, my lad.
I don't think I'm worthy of it.
Are you going to take the throne?
Wait, do you, Darius, say that?
Darian says that. I must warn you, if you do, you must treat your citizens very well.
I am not taking any throne. From my point of view, rulers are the biggest monsters of them all.
But you could be a good one, because you don't like them.
I'd still have to lead battles in my name, force people into servitude.
No. You don't have to force people to servitude. They will come.
When hard
Just
times
like
come,
this.
I need to make hard decisions.
You've learnt at... How old are you, lad? 16?
16.
You've learnt at 16 what Arthur learnt at 60.
It's not a thing I want.
No.
Usually
Nor would
the
you be
best
allowed
leaders-
to have it.
Ooh, now it's something you
Forces
want.
in Camelot that have sure not to allow that. Parzival and his traitors take
Traitors?
control.
Uh-oh.
You see, he says, Knights of Arthur were split after what happened to Guinevere. Some of us, few of us, remained loyal. Most did not. A great civil war broke out afterwards.
Because of me.
Because of your father. Because
Because
of what he did to your mother.
how many people died?
I don't know. It was a war of 10 years. Thousands, maybe?
20,000.
She was like the
470.
Princess Diana. Very popular.
And 20,472 of them are missing hands.
You see, he says, Parzival was much younger than Arthur, and younger than I. Arthur took a fondness to him, trained him personally as a young lad. I think he thought himself his successor. And when Arthur had no heirs of his own after you vanished, it was would decide himself not to be named as next for the throne.
So he can't be trusted.
No.
Anyway, I'm sure that will become relevant at some point in the future.
Absolutely not.
So, what do I do?
You're your own man, lad. What is it that you've been doing?
Helping people? I've got a family of my own here.
You see, he smiles when you see, he says, "You want to keep your family close, lad. All too quickly they can come very far away. I've not seen my own son in years."
I'm sorry.
That's all right. He's doing his part up north, from what I've heard. Following in his old father's footsteps.
Is he a knight too?
Yes.
You can come with us. We're currently journeying to deliver some items, and then who knows where we're going next. We're trying to find Merlin. We could use a knight like you by our side.
And you see he takes a breath. Maybe, yes. I'm sure you don't want to travel with an old man. I'm rather slow these days, not much as good with a sword as I was.
If I had my way, we'd never use swords.
A young prince needs an advisor.
I'm no Merlin. I must say, if your destination is to find him, I have nothing kind to say to the man. After what he did. See, he says he left after that night, you know.
Merlin.
After what Arthur told him to do. Don't know why, but I hope he went and found some dark hole and he's staying into this day.
I'm tempted to tell him about the bloodline stuff, but
You just give us Trimus. Do it.
Mordred will say, we recently learned that Merlin and the Pendragons go back longer than just Uther. He's tied to their bloodline.
What does that mean? Tied.
While a Pendragon lives, he can never be free. He can never exert his own will.
Good. I dread to think what that do had its own will. I've seen him level armies in battle.
He was just doing what he was told, wasn't he?
I don't know. As he looks at me, he looks very sad and very angry, and a lot like he's not really interested in what you had to say there.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you're not converting him to a pro.
You see, he says, "Look, where are you actually going? Physically."
The university.
For now.
You see, he says, "I have some business there myself. That far I could accompany you, if you were sure."
It'd be my honor.
You see, he nods.
Who else from the war are you acquainted with that may help us in our journey?
You see, he says, "The only other knight I ever spoke to was Galehort, which you would know as
My
Mordred's
mentor.
old mentor and trainer. You see, he is gone some years past into the woods. I know not where he is."
I saw him a few years ago.
You see, he says, "Yes, I met him after that attack." Sorry, no, it says, was this after the attack?
It was.
Yes, I spoke to him only once after that. He was getting ready to flee. Thought something was coming after him. I worry he was getting old. Paranoid.
Where did you last see him?
You see, he says, Newport.
Hang on, let me check my map real quick.
You would know Newport is one of the places that the Fey Trail are currently on.
Yes. We may have a way to get there quickly. If we can find him...
It's a shame. This was some years ago. He's been gone a long while now, and I don't know if we'll find him again.
So what brought you down here?
Oh, it's rather foolish, really. They say the Lady of the Sun is the patron of happenstance, the maker of chance, as it is. I could do with a little luck, happenstance, some good chance in my life. I thought I'd come down here and see what happened. And I thought I'd found something. I'd met a changeling of the right age to be Arthur's, and well, I thought perhaps
A change.
like your friend here. A fey blood, a strange sort.
What answers asked you?
A long stepper. A long stepper. Mordred recognised these all as names people have used for changelings in the Blades.
Yep.
But the lad couldn't even hold his own on a horse, and then again, he was dehorsed by this one. So I suppose a bit of luck did go my way.
And what is your knowledge of the Sun Spire and people?
Only what I've heard.
I'm gonna head to see their what's it called? The librarian keeper thing.
Keep a mirror.
No, not Amira, the bookkeeper or whatever. I can't remember.
Historian?
Historian. So that's it. That's it.
He says, of that I have little interest.
Sorry, I just don't really know what to say.
You all drink in comfortable, well-ish silence for a bit.
I will just speak up and say to Genevieve.
Do you mean Guinevere?
Genevieve. Sorry, Genevieve.
You see very stern. Guinevere.
Mordred hesitantly does it, knowing what he's responsible for.
I'm happy to say at that point, Drizella, Bigby, if you're done in the thing, that was quite a bit shorter, I think, than the other one would have been. You can join them in here if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Around that time, Bigby and Drizella entering through the side door.
Drizella enters in through the sideboard. You watch her go down as one ankle seems to twist, but they're bouncy, so it doesn't really matter. It's just that legs do that, and one ankle goes like that and then comes back up again. And she, is there like an armchair?
Oh,
or, yeah.
Lots of comfy stuff.
She folds herself into a comfy seat, and in a very maudlin way that can only happen to somebody who has drunk too much and had a very entertaining conversation about poison, pulls out the skeleton plushie, and just sits there with this skeleton plushie in a big armchair,
You see
slightly drunk.
one of the people at the bar calls out, "Look out there, they're down, they haven't even had one!" And the bartender just kind of rolls their eyes at the person.
I'll just lean over to Lancelot and I'll say, "I'm sorry, someone needs me," and I'm going to go over to Drizella.
Such like his father.
I don't want to be like my father. He sounds awful. I'll go over to Drizella and I'll say, "Hi,
Hi,
are you okay?
I'm fine. Poison is good, parsley is bad."
Can I do a medicine check to see if she's poisoned?"
Absolutely.
No, it's just
24.
Yes, she's intoxicated.
Do I have a spell that I can use on them?
I've got coffee.
Detox.
You don't need...
I literally have an antidote on me, but I don't think it's worth it.
Drizella's going to sit in a chair and consume all the magic
Can
items.
I try and get her coffee out to try and purge the alcohol?
Absolutely, sorry. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's fine. You know.
I think you should have some of this.
Drizella drinks the coffee.
Fantastic. Bigby, what are you up to as you come into this bar?
Probably just keep drinking. But is Lancelot still around?
Oh, he's still in there, yeah. He's currently sitting next to Gary.
Probably. Does he look like he's going to leave at some point?
Not, but he looks pretty comfortable.
Okay. I'll probably just see how Morgan's gone. Ask for a little bit of a lowdown on what's happened. You can give me like a quick version, and then I'll probably ask Lancelot if it's okay if we have a private word.
You see, he nods and says, of course. You see, he says, I'm staying in I'm staying down the street, boys. Come find me there if you need. Heads out the door, and you see him tapping the horse as the door's closing before he heads off down the street.
Mordred goes to say something, but he's already gone.
So I'll then basically tell these guys what to go is with the last thing. So what do we think? Should we take the money? Should we talk to what's his name again? Memphis?
Have you told our story yet?
I've got something I want to talk about too.
What, that you're the heir of Camelot with Arthur's son?
That my coming into the world caused so much death, including that of my own mother, and
Well, that happens to like half the kids.
Haven't you seen like the new Game of Thrones?
I'm sure in this. How often would a woman die in childbirth?
Less often than in medieval period. Healing spells, I think. Like,
That's a good point.
anyone who prays enough can
Like,
do
you know, it's not your fault.
Not unheard of, of course.
You can't beat yourself up for something that you literally didn't have the consciousness to be able to do anything about.
do you beat yourself up for what you did to the Hogsons, for what you do when you're in your rage form?
I have some consciousness. You were a baby. You had none. But yes, good point. I will concede that was a good point. But
Good
maybe
question.
I am starting to come to terms with that as well.
As
I am taming the beast within. I hold the book.
you hold up the book. Has he got
It's a really good
exercises?
book. It's
Have
really
you got?
good.
Has it got exercises at the end of every chapter?
I'm
It's got like a
working.
little. It's got like a little reflective diary that you're having to fill in as you go through it.
Yeah, I'm up to chapter 4.
Do you get a streak if you do like every day?
You get a little
Oh,
magical.
God.
You get to the end of the book, you get like a little poo confetti.
Successfully take the beast inside.
That would be an
Oh.
awesome magical item. We need that.
Read
Seriously,
the beast outside next.
adding. I'm fucking adding this to my whimsy shop. Taming the beast within.
Oh, goodness me.
I know, like, later on,
going-
something's going to really piss me off. I'm just going to grab the book and...
In fact, taming
That's your
Tame the beast.
Taming-
Tame the beast. Tame the beast.
Taming the monster outside would be an excellent way of giving somebody, dominate monster or
That is true.
dominate beast as a scroll you can work through as a self-help manual.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind.
Putting that on my whimsy shopping list. Nice. Oh
So this
god.
Memphis guy, he's clearly ripping us off. He's snuck in all these secret clauses with magic.
I slipped the coffee
I
over
think
so you
he's-
can also purge your drink.
I'm good, I don't trust you, thank you.
Yeah, he also didn't drink very much alcohol, but he has paid for it, so that's good. I go, so the lady
doesn't.
had the poison, and
Correct.
I fish around in my bag and pull out the poison. She milked her teeth and gave me some. She doesn't like the soup.
How does one milk a tooth?
I demonstrate what she did with she's got
Yeah.
things and anyway, and Carrick, who was talking to him, she was the bodyguard.
He did call himself a carrot.
She was the bodyguard for the carrot, who's working for the parsley.
Possibly.
Possible.
Parsley. She said parsley.
It's a good thing Lancelot's not here to see any of this. He really would have gotten too much inside information.
That's why I told you to bugger off. Hit in the road, Jack.
Yeah, so we're going to sell it to him. We've got till midnight to decide.
I don't know if we should. I mean, I trust Lancelot, and he told me that Parzival betrayed him.
Yeah, Parzival does sound like a dick.
Maybe
He wants to kill you.
What? What if? What if?
Parzival wants to kill me?
Oh! Ashley, I have a thing.
Who's Ashley?
Oh, no, never mind, I don't. I decided to go
Yeah,
this
so
way.
we need to keep it quiet. You're like the son of Arthur, because otherwise this crony guy will probably kill you.
You're the son of who? Says the
Oh,
annoying
some-
man in the bar stool.
Some dickhead
Oh,
named Arthur.
Now I'm sobering up a bit because I've had my coffee.
They named him after the king.
Who's this guy in the bar
Nice.
stool?
That's hilarious. Why, John, this person here is named after the son of the king.
Right, I'm going to go talk to the guy at the bar.
I'm
going to go and-
like puts his cloak over.
I'm going to
him.
go run interference at the bar with who's this dude at the bar? Drink him onto the table.
So what do you reckon?
No, I'm sober
Name
again.
is Jack Horner.
Sorry.
Drizella, pleased to meet you. Do you
Fuck
poison,
it.
stab,
I'm gonna
or
lock
shoot?
in my. I'm gonna
I'm
lock in
in
my
leather.
conscious mind,
Leather,
just so I can do this. 'cause it's
wearing
really
or selling?
Oh god.
Oh, buying, selling, making, selling, and mostly selling.
Mostly selling. Leather from what?
Cows.
There
fun.
you go. Just cow leather? No more unusual leathers?
Nope.
No human leather?
Nope.
Boring.
Tried horses once.
Oh, horse leather. Oh.
Mostly do cows.
What are horses good for?
Riding.
Interesting. Do they wear leather?
So the conversation continues much like this. This is the most boring person we've ever spoken to.
Oh, she's quite comfortable with that. She gets an ale.
Alright, what's Darren?
Would you like one, Jack?
The white had one already.
Oh, living on the edge. Okay.
So,
Okay.
Darren, what's your vote on
Anyone else in the bar
I'm going
in
to
here?
take out my hourglass.
Doesn't seem to be.
Oh,
Okay.
here we go.
I'm going to flip it sometimes. I'm not using it.
I was going to say you're going to
It's
blow
just,
the wish
it's
already.
just thematically going to be my thing for this.
Yes.
And I'm going to cast Augury for 10 minutes as I watch the sand fall for 10 minutes.
I was going to say, I'm also going to flavour it. That timer will run for any amount of time you choose.
Oh, nice, because then we can check. That can, remind us if, when it's
Well, I just know what time of day it is, by the way, to the second.
Very cool.
Just because I'm a time person. But time person. What's the time? Jim, what's the time?
9:22 p.m. Here and there.
Sounds good. So the specific wording of my augury, because it's important, it only can predict results up to 30 minutes into the future.
Right.
So it's a pretty it's not that good. But it's good, bad, mixed.
Okay.
And you roll a secret DC 6 flat check, and it's always nothing. Out effect.
Is this going to tell me how my team is going to go with the
I'm going to specifically ask whether or not us deciding to sell the orb
Mm-hmm.
is good, bad, or mixed.
Mixed.
That's not helpful. Okay, we get to the bottom of the sand after 10 minutes. I'm sure we'll do other things in that 10 minute time. He's just staring at each grain. He goes, I don't know.
Why are you in our group again? I can't even remember what your purpose is.
Everyone
Damn.
serves a purpose. Anyway, can I use this scrying orb for nothing in particular?
Yeah.
You're gonna take the damage.
What?
Oh, we can use it, eh?
No,
Yeah.
it's got a password. Memphis specifically said in the contract not to use it.
Yeah, but if we're selling it, we can use it and just take the damage. It's fine.
He is a dick. So maybe
He's a
we should
dick.
just do it.
Yeah, there's nothing that could go wrong.
Yeah, just, all kinds of damage coming from breaking contracts.
Do you want me to augury again to see if using it would be bad?
Your understanding is when you say a rhyming couplet, you take some mental damage.
Yeah,
But not a lot.
But that's how you activate it.
would seem
If
so.
we do sell it, could I use it before we give it away?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So we're going to give it away?
No, we're gonna sell it.
We're going to sell it, sorry.
But this guy's bad news too.
Yeah, but what we do... Okay, hear me out.
I think these stewards are part of the global conspiracy.
I agree, but we give them the orb. Then we go and take over Camelot, plant him on the throne, and take back the orb.
I don't...
And then we get the money as well.
So, like, us taking over, what's her name?
Sounds like one.
No, we have an
Sounds like one
excuse.
that was like
It's a
training
precursor
run.
to the
Yeah,
main
it was
event.
That's like a training run for the big one.
Exactly.
Yeah, practically the same thing.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
about the same size place, right?
Yeah, it's only like 100 times the size, probably.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Maybe we shouldn't give the orb away.
Maybe we should
just
get
keep
the
it.
3 swords pieces first. Yeah, maybe we should use the orb to find the swords and Merlin. And Memphis and kill it.
Maybe we
I'll
should...
also remind you that
That's-
Memphis's deal also includes 2 hours with the orb and knowing how to use it and free to use it how you like.
That is true.
I'll remind you that's in the contract.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
How many health potions can you make?
What?
What if we destroyed the orb?
There you go. That was my
What
assessment.
no one gets.
I think, yeah.
I mean,
That's
Maybe
what
very
happens
expensive.
when you outsmith stuff when I'm slightly
This
drunk.
guy's offering 150, and
On the bar,
Memphis specifically
'Cause I can
says
do it
he'll
in an
he'll
action.
take more.
what could be
I
viable?
am
Get us
using
more than
the
whatever he
health elixir that I've got
But
to
why
make a
should we sell
foamy
it?
bath bomb.
Money.
Love.
And
Uh,
I know you
what
don't
would
care
you
about
give
money,
with
but
my
I can
elixir?
buy some really nice
But
clothes.
I'm going to say that
you can buy that
Veil
coat.
I can buy
explains
I
this
can buy
process.
self-cleaning coats.
and I've now got my alchemical kit out
can
on
buy
the bar,
Because right now
And,
I've got like
just adding
Louis
stuff,
Vuittons,
and,
like, you know those, like,
Mentos
designer
to
label
coke
stuff, but I've got like the fake off
to make this
I could buy like the actual like designer.
and my arcane alchemical
So how much money
familiar
did
is
you
like
150.
150.
So
Yeah.
for
if
100,
you
I've
could tell
won-
me off,
I've
it
won
probably would.
Just yesterday.
for
so-
150 gold,
today. Sorry.
you could buy a third of a good pair of handcuffs.
Yeah. Crap.
Find out where it is.
It's like,
Yeah, but still getting ripped.
yeah, I think you're still getting ripped.
I think this thing's worth 1,000.
Sorry, this thing's
Yes.
worth 1,000. Only at a point in life where 1,000 is too many syllables.
I think we're
Is that
going
where
to
we're
be-
at?
So this is Bigby getting drunk.
No, I feel like we ebb and flow, right? We had the texting era, then we came out of it, and we're the autocomplete era, and now we just need to go back to the shortening things. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Australians have been doing it for centuries. You got like, you got your servo and your ciggies, and can't say cigarette. It's just not possible.
Alright, right now, Mordred is strongly of the opinion that we shouldn't give this to either of the parties.
For
You know what?
160
I think you posed a strong argument. You didn't really argue much, but I think you're right. Because I don't like this guy.
I don't think anyone should have this. It's too
I
powerful.
kind of want to fight him.
Oh, you know what? We should just get Frizella to just like go hang out with his bodyguard and he can't do shit to us.
He won't.
See? The diplomacy act.
But
It's worked in the past. And Frizella's already made inroads with the bodyguard.
What
That's who he's going to hire to kill us.
If there wasn't a
That's me.
looking glass,
Although apparently
he wouldn't be able to kill us over anything.
Why do you want to destroy it?
It's too much power for any one person to have.
There it
for
is.
150 gold,
Alright,
you
what
could
do I
buy
need
a
to
war
do?
saddle.
A foamy
For your
catalyst
horse.
to an elixir.
And a nice
elixir.
I don't want a war saddle. We're not taking the horse into war.
So yes,
I'm
I've
just-
used
I'm
my
just looking at random shit.
healing bomb feat to turn my elixir. So I'm slightly drunk talking to this really boring dude who's already had one beer
Well,
and
we've
makes
been considering making pies, but I don't know.
from leather.
Who?
Leather pies?
No.
Nobody's going to buy that.
No, from the rest of the cow.
Oh, what do you
Right
do
now
with the
we're
rest?
just throwing them away.
As long as you stick to cows and not kids.
Do they have hands?
No.
I collect hands.
Hooves.
You're not getting rid of my stuff.
Anyway,
I'm not sure I collect who.
Just the order.
Do they have horns?
no.
Oh.
I don't know. I think yeah, I reckon. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it is one of the 11th items. So I wonder if it's like special in a way, opens doors or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you look at the bar, and basically, Drizella is sitting there and she's got her alchemical kit out all across the bar. Like, really messy. It's like not like a neat lab there. It's just all over the bar. And she's currently doing the sort of alchemical equivalent of putting Mentos in a bottle of Coke on the bar. So I'm making a foamy healing bomb on the bar. Yeah. That's what I'm doing while you crack on. And then I say to Jack Order, do you know parsley?
No.
I'm going to come and drag Drizella away from the bar.
Good choice.
And I'll say, I know that you've had an evening, but we really need to decide what we're doing with this orb right now, because it could determine the future of a war, and I don't want to be responsible for that, and I can't make the decision.
Drizella starts putting her alchemical kit away in a Mentos.
I think we just kick the can down the road.
Huh?
We don't give it to anyone.
Okay.
outside.
I get out a coin and I
Because we're gonna have
say,
to fight us.
I
This
say,
is lucky.
heads, we keep the stuff. Tails, we sell it.
This is your
He wants.
This
he wants
is your
to share.
biased coin. It always ends on head. We know this.
You put the coin.
Put the coin.
You,
Oh
you
no,
held
Memphis.
in your hand the bias coin, looked at it, but as you flick it up into the air, you see on one side a smiling gnome giving you a thumbs up as you see Memphis's coin that you all have fly through the air and land on, which was the one to keep it.
Heads. This one I wanted.
As you see it lands on heads as you see Memphis.
Oh.
Why does the silver piece that I have to carry
As
on me is
the
part of the
clink of the
contract?
gold ding, just rings out in the bar for longer than you'd expect.
Ah, this creepy dude on spot.
Does it seem like the kind of object we could destroy?
The orb?
Yep.
Crafting or arcana check?
Hey, Drizella, do you reckon we could destroy this thing?
I'll do it.
Oh.
Oh, do Arcana.
I'll do Arcana.
28. Sorry.
32.
I'm doing Arcana. Yeah, I reckon so. With a 6.
With something like Excalibur, you've seen Excalibur can destroy things like the anti-seed. You reckon definitely you could get rid of this orb.
Do you reckon we'd need full Excalibur or just
Caliban would do the trick. You think maybe you could even just smash this thing, you're not sure. It may not even be magically protected.
Well, we can try, and I just grab it and hold
No,
it
no,
over
no,
there.
no, no. As you're holding it,
Okay.
you see the orb goes from the translucent, clear glass usually to just a purple colour starts to fill it. And then a green, and a red, and a yellow as it just slowly changes between colours.
Just me. Can I pass it to someone else and see if the same thing happens?
You see, as you pass it for a moment, it turns translucent, and then again, colours.
So that's everyone. What about? I wonder if it's an avatar thing. Can we pass it to the barman?
Yeah. You see, he says, you want to store this behind the counter or what?
No, I just see if it does pretty colours for you as well.
You see, he holds it. Doesn't seem to have anything happen to it.
Oh, thank you. I pass it to Emma. Gisela.
Does Drizella grab it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Drizella grabs it, holds it, colours.
What colours?
You see a
Important
deep
question.
red, move to a green, move to a blue, move to a grey, move to a
Maybe
pink.
it only works for avatars.
I've seen lamps like this.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
In the Taming the Beast Within book, I think it's got something in there about, like, setting your environment up for success.
Yeah, there's also something about looking within inside yourself. It's like-
While they're talking about the beast within,
Perception check. Anyone who wants to.
21. 22, sorry.
22 will do it.
Oh, I forgot the plus one. Did you get the plus one?
Yeah, that's why I changed
23.
The colours are going quicker. One into the next, one into the next, one into the next. First it was one every couple of seconds, now it's one every second. Two every second.
Okay, can I put everyone with me and put your hands on the thingy? Can we all put our hand on the thingy?
Yeah, do people do that?
Does everyone put their hand up?
Hand.
Oh,
As he gets
bad
faster and
news.
faster and faster and
Hand
faster.
on the dance ball.
And as the last of you touch it, you see it flashes white, illuminating the bar. You see the table you're at is there. You're still sitting on chairs. The rest of the bar fully gone.
Oh dear.
As you're in a white blank void.
Oops.
Boy.
What have we done?
He just incinerated everyone in the
What's
bar.
the Harry Potter thingies? The port keys or whatever they are?
Oh, I was thinking we went to like the heaven sort of place and Harry Potter.
We're not allowed to leave the
We're not allowed to leave this plane.
plane.
I am a great tool to be used for scrying. I am the looking glass. Sorry, a great tool used for spying. I am the looking glass, orb of scrying. There is one thing you need to know. I can see almost anything, although, if you want me to be used as your tool, you must obey my golden rule. You hear a voice emanating from the nothingness.
I say to the nothingness.
Is
I
it
say to
Golden
the
Rule
nothingness,
rhyme?
if you talk in rhyme, that does not count against us. Is what I say to the nothingness. Yes.
Doesn't respond because you've been talking around.
In order to use
Cute.
me as a tool, you must follow the golden rule.
Are you going to give us any clues?
First, you must, when asking, every time, ensure that your words find ways to rhyme.
Oh, no.
Second, I cannot find someone without a base. You must know a name and put it to face. Third and final, while you're welcome to wine, I cannot find one whose divination is clearer than mine.
Whose divination is clear.
Oh, that might be saying you can't find Merlin.
Yeah. Spell DC is better than it. Sort
We
of
can
thing.
still try.
Let's try.
Yeah. If they save against scrying, or whatever the Pathfinder equivalent to. Okay. The question is, do we take the risk on the whole rhyming thing? What happened last time we rhymed? It was bad.
It showed us exactly who.
No, what happened to us last time we
But
rhymed?
we all took damage.
Yeah.
It
We
was
do.
like will saves, and I think we took big.
I think the last time we rhymed wasn't actually anything useful like a scrying mirror. I think it was just that you got carried away with Mother Hubbard.
No, it activated. That's what happened. Because
Yeah.
I said the rhyme, it activated and showed Mother Hubbard in the scrying.
So, sorry. It's true.
But it activating also triggered us also.
I'm trying to think of a rhyme
But it
right
also
now.
could be that like it's in the contract and that's what's giving us the damage because we're specifically not told to do it.
Mm.
So it's like it's Memphis' way of discouraging us from using it without permission.
I wonder if because we're in this little like world, we can just do it.
Drizella
It's not a
goes,
bad idea actually.
I hope she's dying in a cellar. Can you show me Cinderella?
Oh!
Incredible.
That's good.
You
How much damage do we all take? Drizella's intoxicated. I'm on coffee and intoxicated, and much better than I was. But the temptation is real. Mhm.
you do not take any damage.
Ooh, that's bad.
Here, your lady sister, though you do not miss her, her reputationally recently tarred, you'll find your sister in this graveyard. You see a large graveyard of stone, brilliant marble tapestries there, as you see Cinderella dressed uncharacteristically dark, holding a handkerchief to dry eyes as she stands over a procession, as you see in an open casket her husband.
Ooh. I'll shoot a bit. Interesting. Do we all see that?
Yep, you all see that come around as the void moves into that.
Interesting.
Can you show us with his robe unfurling a strange wizard man named
Fantastic!
The temptation is too real.
Locked away by Lady Silver, you'll find your man along the river. You see a great, wide river, torrent gushing through it, dragging leaves and that, and a great dead oak tree growing on its banks.
Well, we can't give this thing to Queen Maeve. Sorry, I'm fine.
Lady Silver was
Queen
Queen Maeve,
Maeve.
right? Locked away by Queen Maeve.
Pardon?
That's not who I thought. I thought it would be Morgana.
Despite him looking like another, please show my dearest brother.
Oh, you!
Yeah, oh.
There's a whole new challenge here.
Too tight to come up with rhymes tonight.
Who do you want to find, Mordred?
Last saw your brother underground. I'm afraid he now cannot be found.
Oh.
You see the boy
Ooh.
returns to white.
Oh.
Sorry, on the ground.
Oh.
So it means he was probably in the dungeon.
Who do you want to find, Mordred?
Hmm?
Who do you want to find?
No one.
All right.
Okay, I want to say something. So can it only find things that are currently happening?
This would go down well in that carnival underground.
Mordred will put his hand
We
on
could
the
open
orb.
a stall.
Mordred will say, if we sold this orb for gold, show us all the death that would unfold.
Ooh.
Oh, Mordred. You need to stop drinking milk.
Is this where it just cast mind games on you? Like something from this dude?
Brutal.
You may claim my intellect has slumbered, but I cannot count that yet unnumbered.
Oh. Galen needs the fucking hero points tonight.
Mm.
That's pretty good. It took me like 5 minutes to come up with that.
Yeah, may you show our dear friend Tristan, because we have missed him. It's like...
Who's
Iranian.
Tristan? Iranian. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought
Lots of,
Iranian
Fake
like,
friend.
lots of characters in this game.
If only there was some easy to reference guide of all the characters somewhere, like a wiki.
Gaze upon the victory of your old chum. He rules now with counsel in Solazar Glum.
Oh.
And you see, the castle has been fully pulled down. The Great Dolorous Guard has been largely pulled apart. The walls of the city have been broken down, and you see them building lots of new houses on the outside. Lifts and lifts all around the cliff, so you can get up to it more easily than that one ramp. And you see a man with an enormous beard and a cane, who you immediately recognise as Garen Iranian with a larger, faker beard, helping to lead some of the construction.
Love it, make us sound again.
He's still alive. That's good.
I'm so happy.
And Tristan Iranian is you see he's there looking over single roads, that sort of thing. Wearing quite like not very kingly garb, looks to be dressed as much the same as the people around him.
I think he's dead. It makes me sad. If he's alive, please show my dad.
That's a really good one.
That's a really good.
We're just doing it all now.
Oh yeah, here we go. Everyone.
This is a new way to lore dump. This is excellent.
Are you recording this, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm like, I have not taken notes from less than...
Yeah, drunk Drizella's just gone.
Residing in the place most bad, I'll show you now what's left of your dad. And you see what looks to be a dungeon of dark stone, as you see emaciated, ratty beard, his hands
alive?
chained above him, breathing.
Oh.
A man who you really cannot recognize as your father.
Okay.
Oh, that's sober Drizella. That worked better than coffee.
So that's 2,
Oh shit!
1, and 1.
How much damage is coming off the back of this?
Keep going.
We're gonna die.
Yeah,
Um,
the later consequences.
now that we know he is Mordred's father, can you show us Forking Arthur?
Oh. Before the orb answers,
Yeah.
Oh,
I would like to strike the orb with Caliburn.
You
Wait, in the
as you
orb!
attempt to forward. Yeah. Reaction.
But as I hear you begin to say the
Oh,
word
yeah.
Arthur,
I should yeah, actually, I've got it. I've got a reaction.
I'm going to use a new focus spell I have called Delay Consequence.
Wonderful. What does that do?
It still hits,
Mm-hmm.
but it gets delayed by 1 round.
Wonderful.
that's like 3 seconds.
6.
I'm going to use my
6
reactive
seconds.
strike. But I'm just going to do it as the unarmed strike to try to basically stop your attack. And that's a nat 20.
Really?
Yes.
That's insane.
Can I shield block?
You can, but that still hits and still crits.
Oh, you have to actually
Yeah.
hit for my thing to go on.
So that means it stops your action.
So that means it does disrupt the action. Mordred, you go there. You. What do you block with? What do you attack with? Your hand?
oh,
Oh no no no.
Okay,
I've got spares. You're
Yeah,
Roll a
fine.
fortitude saving throw, please.
I might be delaying consequence on you getting hit, not the board.
31.
What's your class save DC?
22.
Mordred's class save DC.
Oh, sorry.
23.
23. So success, crit success.
What do you get?
30.
What do you roll? 32.
33.
33. So crit
Crit
success.
success.
Crit success. Your hand is brought down, and you cannot stop the sword falling, but you don't lose any fingers or your whole hand.
I just
Grabs it and just into the thing. Horrible cut along your hand. Still works as a disruptive strike, so you can deal damage to Mordred if you want to. Cool.
Does Caliburn deal damage? to-
Caliban absolutely does, less than usual though. You take 6 damage. Big, from a big cut in your hand.
How?
And the
What are you
orb,
doing,
as it's hit,
Mordred?
So does it
rings
hit
out.
the?
Boom!
It doesn't hit it.
Mordred, Bigby's hand hits the thing with the blade on the other side.
I'm sorry.
Drizella starts peeling bits of skin off her arm, ready to repair your wound.
I'm just watching
With
the
great sadness it shall bring, I show you now Arthur King. And you see a quiet room, dimmed blazes, burning coals in them, and a sad old man with great, messy black hair, and a beard that has not been shaved in some time, sitting on a throne, holding tightly a sword.
Or if he's still got one of the 3 faces.
He then looks over to the 4 of you and says, "Is that you? Is that you?" And then starts to stagger towards you with the blade holding it up before the image fades. Oh.
This was a fun excursion.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Fade before he gets set. I also have a theory that Arthur is has got one of those seeds in it. So that would be
Oh god, if he becomes the Horn for what he's done.
There's only so much my heart can take in one day.
Callan's writing notes.
It's strange that it was able to tell us about where Merlin is and Arthur and all these other important people, but not my brother. That's how good of a disguise he is. He's hidden from like the most powerful scrying orb in the world. Okay. I think I'm good. Is there anyone else that someone else wants to look at that I can think of around drawing from?
Who would have my dad in prison?
Your mom.
Zara, yes, she would.
See,
Or-
I don't have a
or
marker for my dad. I don't know what he
Memphis
looks
as,
like. I
like,
don't know
part
his
of the deal,
name. I
maybe?
don't know anything.
Part of the deal, maybe.
Oh,
Like he was sold, like that was part of the pact with the fairy.
He'd gone
which
before
was
then.
Memphis.
yeah, he'd gone before then. And he went when I was really little, so
Yeah, that could have been like the down payment, and then the rest.
the
came
down
from,
payment.
the deposit,
Yeah, maybe
and the rest
playing the
came
long
later.
game.
I don't know. Just theoretic.
Yeah.
Before we sit here still in the white vault.
Oh yeah, we should probably go out to
take
White
the
Vault.
head off
Yeah,
the-
Oh, you stopped touching the orb.
Oh
Oh shit.
shit! How do we get out?
I will say one more. I will say she tends to make us quite wary. Where do I find Mary?
Oh god! Why did you do
Why did
this?
you say the name?
Oh my god!
not the full name.
Oh.
We're all gonna die in a void. We've
You
done.
may not
we-
wish to believe it's true, but she's in here with you.
Oh, fuck! Shit.
We really need to get it out.
Now can I destroy it?
No, we need to get it out. What if it's the only way home?
What am I to find out?
Okay.
Okay, can I
You
use
shall need to keep your composure. She comes now even closer.
Can I please do an Arcana check? And I want it to detect the source of us being transposed to this world, so I can attempt to dispel it.
Yep, go for it.
We have 4 shards of the mirror, everyone.
27.
27. You are unable to work it out with a 27. Act fast now, you must scurry. She arrives here. Better hurry.
This place is as white as Mordred's face. Can you show us how to get out of this place?
This place is as wide as Mordred's face.
No, I said, yes. Oh, yeah, I didn't say that.
Though you might think me just a fool, you must obey.
God.
If we were to split you once in twain, would you take us home again?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Were you to solve this problem with Brawn, I would not take you home. I'd just be gone.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we have to scream and shout, can you please take us out?
Mm.
You see at that, the bar rematerializes around you. The orb-
There was a brewing panic going there. It's like,
Okay, are we taking damage now?
This is not a paladin!
oh, that's a lot of dice.
64 mental damage for Big Bit.
That's a lot of dice.
Ow! I thought the hangover was supposed to come tomorrow.
So many dice.
35 for Mordred.
That was fun, but it's like, yeah, take a break.
50 for Darian.
Does that kill you?
It's not powerful.
I'm very glad that I got this.
And 23 for Drizella.
Oh, it's barely a flesh.
It's fine, I need to sleep anyway.
You're gonna have worse mental damage tomorrow when you wake up.
Bloody
I
glass
didn't take
object.
the mental. Like, there's a few things in psychic that you can like reduce mental damage. No, I didn't take them. 'Cause I'm an
You
idiot.
know what? We have.
What?
Oh, that guy's going to come kill us at midnight now. And now we've all taken a charge.
We probably would have fought him no problem.
Who's coming to kill us at midnight?
Frank.
Oh, fuck. Because of parsley.
Yeah.
Everyone just adjust your hit points on your character sheet, and then we'll call it a night.
Boy. Bugger. Yeah, that was an
I
error.
think that's a pretty good place for that.
Oops.
Hope everyone enjoyed.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
It was awesome.